Welcome to this channel, Small Town TNR. I'm Erin, founder of FC3, Firelands Community Cat Coalition. We are located in Norwalk, Ohio, and we serve Huron County and Erie County when it comes to TNR, Trap-Neuter-Return. I'm going to share with you how we got started and what TNR is all about. Again, I'm Erin, founder of FC3, Firelands Community Cat Coalition, and this YouTube channel, Small Town TNR, where I hope you can learn some tips around TNR and help you get started to do TNR in your area. I'm going to take you on a little journey of how we got started, and this all started in 2015, and I'm recording this video in December of 2025, so this is 10 years ago when this journey started, and I started following these amazing ladies. Nikki Martinez with My Foster Kittens, based out of Las Vegas, and Hannah Shaw, known as Kitten Lady. And I'm sure most of us know Kitten Lady and know of her book, Tiny But Mighty. It is definitely a book we use and refer to when we have foster kittens. Now, I do want to warn you, there are some graphic images coming up, not too terribly graphic, but it does help us tell the story. In 2019, Nikki took in these kittens, and they were found by a dumpster. They were marked for dog fight bait, and they clearly had very ruptured, infected eyes. And I started following their journey on Instagram as Nikki with My Foster Kittens started to foster them. And then it became time for them to go up for adoption, and Nikki was accepting adoption applications, and I very quickly submitted my adoption application, and I was accepted. It turns out that when it was time for me to go to Vegas to adopt them, that cat camp was also going on in Las Vegas, and this was at the end of 2019, November of 2019. So I attended cat camp. And I got to meet everybody. I got to meet Hannah and Jackson, and I learned all about TNR. I learned about fostering. I even toured a TNR organization called C5, and that is Clark County Community Cat Coalition, based in Las Vegas, and Nikki is a volunteer for them. And she gave me a tour of C5, and it's basically just a two-car garage. So I learned a lot more about TNR by touring this two-car garage and meeting the owners and learning more about TNR. And then I brought my two little one-eyed kitties home, who are now Grace and Sailor, Pippi Grace and Astrid Sailor. But the one thing I learned at cat camp was be the someone. We can all do something. Everyone hears, oh, I hope someone does something. I hope someone can help that cat. I hope someone can step up. And we are all the someone. We can all contribute. We can all pitch in. We can all help out. We can all do the one thing that would help out a shelter or help out a rescue. Soon after that, my husband and I moved from Columbus, Ohio to Norwalk, Ohio. We did that in January of 2020. And on the social media pages and the community pages on Facebook, there is a lot of complaints about the stray and feral cats. And I asked the question, is there a rescue or TNR group in town? And I got laughed at. But there were a group of us who decided to do something. So we did something together. We chose to be the someone, and FC3 was born. So FC3, we started in 2020, about February of 2020. We became incorporated in January of 2021, and an official 501c3 nonprofit in May of 2021. Our mission is to serve the free roaming and feral cats in the Firelands community. Through our TNR efforts, we will reduce future litters and feline disease. We will be a voice for the abandoned while educating the community on humanely reducing the cat overpopulation. So why TNR, Trap-Neuter-Return? I think we all know how important TNR is. TNR gets to the root of the problem. When we focus on TNR, shelters feel the impact, other rescues feel the impact. There's less calls going to shelters and rescues to please rescue this kitten, or I just found a bunch of kittens. And if we can just get to the root of the problem, everybody will feel that impact. So TNR is so, so crucial. It is cheaper to fix a cat than to feed a cat, because when you have two cats become 20 cats, become 200 cats very, very quickly. So I think we all know the staggering statistics. One female cat can get pregnant at 4 months old. And after 4 years, all the offspring can result in 2,000 cats. And then after 9 years, that's almost 12 million. So it is a staggering number, and we need to get to the root of the problem, and we need to focus on TNR so we can control the overpopulation. Here is the process that we use when it comes to helping the community and the colony caretakers. Our colony caretakers fill out a form, and in this form we get as much information as possible. We find out location, we find out number of cats, we find out what they're willing to do. Are they willing to help trap? Are they willing to help transport? We get permission to be on property. There's a few waivers they have to sign. I do highly recommend liability insurance. So you want to have your liability blurb out here for them to sign off on as well. So it starts with them submitting a request and filling out a form so we can add them to our list. We load up the traps in our car. We have, check out the other video that shows all the supplies that we recommend. But we load up the traps in the car and take our supplies, and we set the traps at the location and then put them back in the car and take them to the location where they stay. It's our shed that they stay in before and after surgery. They go to the clinic. It's a high quality, high volume, low cost spay-neuter clinic. We travel over an hour to Toledo to get the kitties fixed. And here they are. This is when they're recovering after surgery in the shed. And we can house between 25 and 30 kitties in this shed before and after surgery. And then the R is the return. They go back to where they live and go back to their colony caretaker. And they get an ear tip. The ear tip is the universal sign that an outdoor cat has been fixed. So as you're out there driving around the community and you see a cat wandering around, look for that ear tip. And that means that cat has been fixed and it's not contributing to the overpopulation. So keep that in mind. The ear tip is a universal sign that that kitty has been fixed and that somebody cared about that kitty enough to get it fixed. How have we been doing? So here are our stats since we started. These are the numbers each year that we have done TNR, as well as some fostering. So there have been a few years that we've taken in some foster cats and we're able to find them forever homes. So each year the numbers have grown. We just wrapped up 2025 and the number for 2025 is 180. Now the 2024 number is 249, which includes a partnership with a humane society in town where we collectively trapped 90 cats together. So if we take that number out, FC3 trapped 159 in 2024 and we did 180 in 2025. Overall, since we started, we have fixed 825 cats in both Huron and Erie counties. That is equivalent to 1.65 million kittens from not being born. Those are the number of kittens we have prevented from being born based on one female cat having offspring over the course of 4 years. 825 cats over the course of 4 years equates to 1.65 million kittens not being born. Here's how we raise our money. We operate on donation only. We do not charge for what we do. We do not charge the colony caretakers for the surgeries or anything like that. We do fundraisers and we get donations from the community who wants to support us and those who care about what we do and want to be contributors and donors. So we have various events. We have various fundraisers throughout the year. We sell merchandise. We've had a pasta fundraiser, a wine fundraiser, raffles, and then we have our annual fundraiser every spring. We call that Meow Stock, and that is our annual fundraiser where we typically raise between $6,000 and $8,000 every year for this big fundraiser, and that's typically in the springtime. and it's a Woodstock theme, and it is so much fun. And we bring in a band called the British Invasion. They are a 60s tribute band, and they are just amazing and so much fun. So we definitely invite you to join us at our annual fundraiser. Many hands make light work. So here is how you can help us. There's so many ways that you can help us out. We need volunteers. We would love to have a conversation with you, learn about what you might be interested in helping us out with, even if it's just stopping by and picking up trap covers to wash. The pile of trap covers gets pretty big pretty quickly, and just doing a load of laundry is very helpful just by itself. If you can't trap or if you can't transport, I'm sure we can find other ways for you to help us out if you're interested in helping us out. If you could like, follow, and share us on social media, tell your friends about it, ask your friends to like, follow, and share. That's free and very, very helpful to get the word out and to spread the message about what we're doing. Of course, donate not just money, but food, flat sheets that we then turn into trap covers, newspapers that we use to line the table in the shed, as well as the traps, pee pads for the traps as well. And then keep in mind that if you make a donation and your employer does matching, make sure you request a receipt from us that we can then give to you to give to your employer, and then we can have that matching. We have several people who turn the receipts into their employers, and then their $1 becomes $2, and that is amazing. So keep that in mind and ask your employer if they offer the donation matching. And then sponsor our fundraisers. Get those shout outs on social media. We feature you every week as we lead up to our big annual fundraiser, Meowstock. And we are definitely looking for sponsors at all different levels to help us out and support our fundraiser. So thank you so much for your support. Please feel free to email us at info@fc3tnr.org. And we would love to connect with you. But also make sure to connect with us. We are on Facebook. We have a website. You can email us, but then we're also on Instagram. You can follow FC3. You can also follow the two one-eyed kitties if you want to follow their story too. So we have those two pages out there on Instagram. So thank you so much for learning about us. I hope maybe you learned something, and I hope maybe TNR is not scary and you can start TNR in your town also. Certainly feel free to email us and we can help you out. We toured C5, like I mentioned earlier, and I ended up duplicating a lot of the work that they do. So I reached out to them and I said, hey, can you help me get started if I want to do a grassroots TNR program? And they helped me out. So I truly believe in what I call R&D, which stands for rip off and duplicate. So if there's an opportunity for me to share how we got started and what we do, I certainly would love to help you do that if you're looking to start TNR in your town. So thanks so much for tuning in, and be sure to watch some of our playlists so you can learn more about TNR and more specifically, small town TNR. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe our channel and stay tuned for our next video.